third felony is an allegation of possession of cocaine. If you're found guilty of that offense, you can be incarcerated up to a year, fined up to $2,500 or both. Now, in that particular case, there is a drug license suspension of minimum 6-month term, maximum 5-year term if you are found guilty of the charge. So do you understand those potential penalties?
Yes, sir.
You're also here on three. Okay, I guess it's just the felony charges. All right, just a moment ago I explained the rights and the plea options that you have when you come to court. Do you feel you understand those matters?
Yes, sir.
All right, now because you're here on a felony, you're not going to be called upon to enter a plea, but I am going to ask you, do you intend to hire an attorney?
Yes, sir.
Do you have the financial ability to hire an attorney?
No.
Do you want to make application for appointed counsel on these matters? It's a $25 application fee. If you want to hire an attorney at any point, you can discharge your publicly appointed attorney if you do qualify. There is a $25 application fee. The question I would have is whether or not you'd be able to get that paid within 5 to 10 days.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you want to make application then?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Why don't you, we'll take a recess on your case briefly, have you fill out an affidavit. That'll give me the financial information I'm going to need. I'll just proceed with other cases. And once you finish, signal one of the officers of the court, and we'll finish up with your case.
Okay.
I'll make a finding that your plea is knowingly and voluntarily tendered. I will accept it. If you're guilty, tell me what happened.
All we did was turn around in the school parking lot.
Okay, which school are we speaking of?
The Lakeside Elementary. I only have the one rifle and the softball bats. Which actually the softball bats are more expensive than the rifle, so if they just give me the softball bats back, I'd be happy with that.
Madam Prosecutor, you want to
The rifles and the spotlight are kind of indicative of that, so my sense is they may have been.
5 days to get your filing fee on deposit. Now, in the area of income, in the area of any type of financial information, you've left the entire amount blank. So what am I to infer from that? You make $30,000 a year, or you make $0 a year?
I'm sorry, sir. 0.
0. So you're not employed right now?
No, sir.
Any public assistance?
No, sir.
Nothing. Okay. So I'm going to put a 0 there, and you solemnly swear that's true and accurate.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Madam Prosecutor, you wish to be heard concerning bond?
Your Honor, my understanding is that this defendant has a significant criminal history. I'm not sure if he was just arraigned or if the co-defendant was just arraigned in common police court related to an aggravated murder case. We have concerns about these individuals being out on the street. This is a case in which the search warrant was executed on the premises. Obviously, items were found illegal, and I would ask for $25,000 cash bond.
Okay. Mr. Quarterman, anything you want to say concerning that?
Sir, things that I'm being indicted on today, they saying all this stuff, but none of these things was found on my person. None of these things were found on my personal area. None of these is charges that they.
Well, the state has to prove the charges. I get that. I do. Yeah.
And due to my criminal history, I haven't been in trouble. It's been 8 years since I've been in trouble. And it's not like I'm constantly out, outside getting in trouble.
Well, let me.
I have been in trouble before, and I admit to that. I said, and that's over with. No chapters in my life.
Let me indicate on a third-degree felony, I usually use a $15,000 bond. Right? You have 2, so that gets you 30. Just if I do what I normally do, just on those 2 charges. 5th-degree felony, I use a $5,000 bond. Okay, so that puts you at $35,000. Cash surety. The state's asking for 25, so the state is not out of line with what I would normally do here. The fact that you have other felonies pending does bear on what type of bond you're going to be eligible for. And I'm going to assume just from the dates on these complaints versus the other charges that this is alleged to have happened afterwards. Now I recognize you were probably incarcerated at the time. It's not like you went out and committed a crime while you were, I understand it. It's largely a function of circumstance. All of the factors are there that would support the state's request for bond and not a PR bond in this case, at least at this time. My job is to filter the case. I hold a hearing in 5 to 10 days. So if you are eligible for an attorney and you get that $25 paid and there's an attorney here, your attorney is going to have a chance to speak with the prosecutor. I don't know what the issues were in Jefferson. I don't know if this was even known to the prosecutor or to the judge in that case. I have no idea. Because again, this was filed afterwards. So there's a little bit of sorting out that has to be done that's, to me, is implicit on the face of this case. So for right now, I'm going to set it at $25,000. I'll make it cash surety. So that's what it'll be at least for the next 5 to 10 days.
Cash surety meaning I have $25,000.
You go through a bondsman or put $25,000 in cash up. And if you go through a bondsman,
You said no 10%?
no, there would be no 10% for now. Yeah, correct.
How is it possible for me to do that? I don't leave any space to try to.
Well, and again, I'm just telling you, I'm deviating from what I normally would do. So normally you'd have a $35,000
Right,
problem, not a $25,000 problem. Secondly, there's some things present on the face of this file that suggest that I'd like to give everybody time to figure out what it is they would like to communicate to me. Right now, I don't have everybody here I need to have here in order to have an intelligent conversation about the very thing we're talking about. Okay. Good luck, sir. Howe versus Carlotte Owens, also known as Carlotte Ruth. Ms. Ruth, you have 2 felony charges. One is an allegation of having a weapon while under disability, an F3. If you're found guilty, you could be incarcerated up to 5 years, fined up to $10,000 for both. There's a possession of cocaine charge. If you're found guilty there, you could be incarcerated up to a year, fined up to $2,500 for both. There is a mandatory license suspension that would be applicable concerning the drug offense if you are convicted of that offense. So do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, you do have certain rights. I explained those rights earlier, along with your plea options. Do you feel you understand those matters?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You are not going to be called upon to plead. I am going to ask you, though, do you intend to hire an attorney?
I'm not sure.
Okay. I see there's an affidavit here. There's your name. Is that your affidavit?
Yes.
Is that your signature?
Yes.
Do you solemnly swear the information you've supplied is true and correct as your answer to God?
Yes.
The record indicated dating the document, today's date, November 18th. And prosecutor, you wish to be heard.
Same circumstances would apply, Your Honor. She was just arraigned with respect to charges that involve the aggravated murder case that the court conducted a preliminary hearing on a few weeks ago. Again, we have these charges executed or determined by way of a search warrant. We would ask for the same bond, $25,000 cash.
Ms. Ruth, is there anything you want to say?
Yes, Your Honor. I have a 17-year-old grandson at home that I have custody of. He's been home by himself since I've been incarcerated. I mean, I live here. I'm not going anywhere. I need to get home.
Now, Ms. Ruth, I fully understand what you're saying there, but I'm also cognizant that if you do have a grandson that's 17 years old, it depends on you, and if any of these allegations are true, then that's something that you've already made a value judgment about.